Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 367 at scavengerlife.com.
First, I want to say thank you for the recent donations. We don't say it much, but, people do on our blog. We have like a little donation.
Little tip jar.
And people from time to time send us a tip. It's very
It's
welcome.
very nice. Thank you.
Just helps us pay a monthly server fee, kind of keeps the blog going. So that's nice. Also, we've had a couple of people be messaging us about renting our Airbnb here in the area.
Airbnbs, plural.
Yeah, and I just want to make clear the way that we do this is you can go to scavengerlife.com, and on the sidebar there's a button there.
And it'll go to our rentals, and you'll see the calendar of availability. You don't have to message us about availability.
Right. It's basically, you go there, it's a whole thing. You just join Airbnb, and there's calendars, and you can just book. And also, I just want to be clear, we're happy to meet people if we're around. But I also just want to stress, too, that you should come to just enjoy the area.
Right.
The beautiful Shenandoah Valley. Rather
Especially
than, we're busy people just like everybody else. So, we're happy to say hi. We can even maybe have a meal if things work out. But come for the area. It's not just to meet us.
We're secondary.
Yeah. We're the secondary people.
Yeah.
Man, there was a day this week when it's that feeling that I think only a scavenger can get. Or maybe someone that works for it themselves.
Yeah.
And that is like, this could be my day.
This could be the day.
Don't you ever have those days? Like, I remember it's this week we were in a thrift store, and I just immediately found something awesome.
Yeah.
Like underpriced, and I'm like, this is incredible.
This is great. Yeah.
I saw something else.
Yes.
And it's just where all the years of us being scavengers, all that experience, and the eye that we've honed, and you're in a place that hasn't been shopped. Or they've just put stuff out, and you're just like, this.
Yeah,
amazing.
Like, you're just seeing the little gold nuggets, and you're like, like you said, it's 10 years worth of knowing those little things.
And you go up to the front, and, you're like, how expensive is all this? It's like $2, $1. You're like, incredible.
Yeah.
And, when I had a job for other people, I never had that kind of a feeling. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to a thrift stores when I work at other jobs. But, when I work at other jobs, there isn't that, for me at least, I didn't have jobs where there was that ability to have, like, things happen that were unexpected.
Or satisfying to that level.
Right. I mean, it maybe unexpectedly bad things would happen, but not like
unexpectedly good things.
Because like when you work for a company, normally the whole point is like everything's stable, so everything's planned way in advance, and and I love being a scavenger and having that.
Well, the other part about working for other people too is that generally, depending on what the job is, you don't have the ability to be like, oh, I think I'm going to do this thing and see how it turns out.
Right.
That's just not part of the job.
Right. It's, it's supposed to be very predictable, and people like predictable, it's nice for things to be predictable sometimes.
Right.
But I like the idea of it not. Now, I will say, and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, it's when I went to a flea market where it was really depressing.
Junky.
I didn't see anything. I mean, those days where you're finding so much good stuff always is balanced with
finding nothing.
And very often it's like the tough days where you go somewhere and there isn't anything.
Yeah.
And everything's just junk, and that's when working for ourselves can be kind of scary.
Right, or combined with that, nothing sold in a day,
and
you're like, what's going on?
So I like having both of those. I personally I can handle both of those things.
Because they both happen.
But when those days are tough, I always, for me at least, have in my mind that there are good days.
Yes.
And
you remind me of that.
Clearly in my,
Yeah.
Like, so. Okay, that's enough of my philosophy. Let's jump right into eBay because it's been kind of a busy week.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about all the eBay problems in one place.
Boy, that's going to take a while. Yes.
It was tough. Let's not beat up on eBay too much, but let's just be very scientific about it. Okay, number one. And some of these are features and they aren't a bug. So this one is actually a feature. Like it's supposed to be
in quotes
this way.
A feature.
So you can only do sales now every 14 days.
Right. Sale promotion event things.
So no longer can you, if you were one of those people that was a sale person.
Like basically if you had a perma sale.
Right. Like where you just always put like
everything was always on sale.
You put your prices up 10% or more and then everything had been on sale 10%.
You basically
and that was
cannot
like your
do that
strategy.
anymore.
You can't do that anymore.
Well, technically you could do that every 2 weeks.
And this isn't quite, I mean, we've talked about this, but what's different now is a lot of us thought, well, if you did good till canceled, your items don't ever end.
So therefore you'd be able to still do
it was possible to do a perma sale, but I guess with good till canceled, they do actually technically,
it's the same thing.
They technically end, but they just automatically get put back up. But it's the same thing now. Once they end, they have to be the same price for 14 days.
For 14 days before you do.
I mean, honestly, this doesn't bother me.
Right.
Because I've always thought sales are bull. I think that they're a nonsense, especially for the stuff that
we sell.
We have. Like if someone wants this really weird door handle,
they're going to want it no matter what.
They're not.
And if they want 15 to 20% off, they'll probably ask and make an offer. So.
I've always thought that sales are just a simple way, a psychological thing for a person who sells on eBay to make them feel like they have some kind of power over their sales.
I did use sales also, and I had stuff on sale. I had stuff on sale last weekend, and this is how we kind of like figured this out. We, meaning all of us on the forum. And I was like, okay, I'll do a sale for 4th of July, because 4th of July, there's all kinds of sales for like every online store. And so I was like, this is only pulling in like one item or a couple items out of 6,000 items, right? So I call eBay and they're like, yeah, we don't really know, blah, blah, blah. And then I asked on the forum and people were like, it's this new update. So if you had stuff on sale last week, that's only 7 days. Your stuff doesn't qualify for another like week or whatever. Right. And now I'm like, I'm not even gonna do anything.
But we had a good week
but
of
stuff
sales,
was selling that day.
People sold for
full price.
To me, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's interesting that eBay thinks it's important to do that, because if people want to do that strategy of perma sales, it's kind of weird, but who cares? Why not? Like, what's the big deal? But, I don't know the problem they're trying to solve,
Right, what is the problem? But.
Okay, number 2. We talked about this a week ago. Automatic re-illicit items get their photos erased.
So there was obviously a huge problem with, I believe it was on between June 21st and June 22nd, where anyone's listings that were getting relisted, no matter if you have automatic relisting or 30 days or good till canceled, anything that rolled over on that time period lost its photos. Some people had some workarounds on how to get their photos back, including getting their photos from Bonanza, blah, 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 Google. But it seems like that the problem of losing photos has been fixed. Okay. No one's losing photos as of June 22nd.
But the problems that got lost...
eBay has no fix for that, which is incredible.
Right. But the way people are getting around it is if you've synced your store to...
another place,
then you can go and grab those of photos. But okay, so that got fixed though, right?
Fixed in terms of they're not losing photos anymore.
Number 3, and I think this has been going on for a while, but I've just kind of like picked up on it that people were talking about it.
Yeah,
are views.
Like when you look at your active listings and you're like, oh, did anybody look at this item? It's either showing some views, 0 views, or a dash.
A dash.
Where you're like, does that equal 0, or you're just not giving me views?
And very often on ours, it'll be a dash, but then the watchers are 2.
Right, so you're like, so somebody saw this.
People
They're
are
just
watching
not giving
this.
us any stats.
So for some reason, and again, not a big deal for me, because we don't check that stuff very often. Like, I don't really, we are in it, like, we list.
Right, but it's good to see, okay, right. There's been like 10 views on this, so people are interested in this thing. Agree. But I agree. If it's like 0, you're like, how come everything I listed yesterday says 0?
And I haven't heard anyone hear anything from eBay about why that's happening.
But other people have had this issue too, so it's some weird back-end thing.
Okay, number 4, and this is a feature and not a bug. So eBay has changed how they show a sold item.
A sold item, not the list of solds. Right.
So we go to a thrift store.
Right.
I pick up an item. I bring it home. I do some research and I do a search. Show me all the sold items for this item I have in my hand. Then it shows me all the sold items. I click on it. Then it shows me a totally different item. And then I have to go up into the corner and click another thing because it says, the item you're looking for has sold. Here's another item to buy.
It's similar. And it's so weird. Like, you're looking at it and you're like, this doesn't look like the one I clicked on. Like, at first, I was like, that's so weird. And then there's this tiny writing where you're like, oh.
So I have to click through again to see the actual item that's sold so I can see if mine is alike and if it got undersold, all that stuff. Right. And it's a feature. And I kind of get it. eBay's like, well,
if you're to buy stuff.
If you're a buyer, you don't want to see something that can't be bought.
Right.
So we're going to show you an item that can actually be bought that is hopefully in the same
It's
vein.
good that they give a link, though. You're like, no, I wanted to look at that sold
It's super tiny, though. I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, if I actually click on the sold item, show me the sold item.
Yeah, just
like, I don't know. I mean, why would a buyer click on a sold item and want to see some other random item? I don't know. So that's just
it's weird.
Something they've thought of doing. Okay, number 5.
Okay, no emails for a while. I think this started up again yesterday. I was not getting any eBay emails when items sold. I was getting the app alerts.
Okay.
But I wasn't getting, like, the actual email, like, hey, this item sold.
I could have sworn this past a week, there were times I was not getting app alerts.
That could be true.
And
I was just getting, at one point, you're right, I remember this now, I was just getting the PayPal alert. Someone paid for something, and you're like, what did they pay for? And eventually eBay would show it. So something's going on in the back end there.
Yeah, and this happens from time to time where emails will go away.
But they're back.
I personally still don't get the emails. I don't know if that's
This is why. Okay. Because I get the emails on our main account, and I had a filter in Gmail that was like, anything with this title, they changed the title of the email. So I have to... And the thing is, they have like 3 different titles for sold emails now. So I'm like, how do I even forward this?
And plus, I noticed that the titles of the emails have like emojis in them. It's
so annoying. And you know what it is? They're trying to appeal to younger people.
Right. I don't know.
And I'm like, don't put emojis in your...
To me, it's like younger people, younger in their 20s are not little babies, but
they can handle a subject without an emoji in it. Anyway, I don't know, maybe they can't, but...
I think they can't handle it. Okay, and the number 6 is... Yeah. And this was a big one.
This was a bug.
We woke up, and everyone's on a forum freaking out.
Right.
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
And we saw it too. On our dashboard, it said we had lost our top rated seller status.
And we were like, just standard or whatever.
Yeah. And when you click on it, it says it's because we had not uploaded the tracking
on 75% of our items. So obviously we're like, I have same day shipping with a cutoff time in the morning. I'm like, I ship every single item on time, obsessively.
Right.
So we knew that...
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really freaking out about it. I was like, this is so crazy.
This cannot be
real.
And
I think, didn't you try and call eBay? Or other people tried to call eBay and they were
the whole time was like 3 hours.
It's like you can't get through. And
so we knew... Well, the good thing is, this is why I love our forum. Everybody was like, me too. Same thing. Like, I know it's not... like one person was like, they said I uploaded 1 tracking this whole month out of 300 items. So we were like, okay. The good thing was eBay acknowledged it publicly on their community forums from a official eBay, forum moderator. So to me,
I mean, they also, which I think is even better, on the
dashboard,
a seller hub, they inserted a note where all that was, where it says, we know it's a problem and we're trying to fix it. So they did it in two places.
Very good.
And so we talked about all these problems during a week. That biggest one, they actually did something that I think was very good. So I give them credit for that. I just wish that they could just make a page, ebay.com/problems.
/bug report.
You can have that. It's a free idea.
Yeah.
And where I can just go there and I just see. It can be small,
it's knowledgeable.
Big. Just acknowledge when there's a known problem and that it's being fixed.
Now, so here's my issue. I'm going back to this other one, this photo issue. They didn't acknowledge it. Phone reps didn't acknowledge it. No one on Facebook, eBay, business, whatever. Nobody acknowledged it. And they're not planning to fix it. And my question is, eBay probably has backup servers, right?
Yeah.
They don't just have stuff on one server. They probably have multiple backup servers over the world.
Engineer,
and I'm just like,
I can just hear like three guys that work in that part of eBay, and they're like, this is going to take us weeks to try and retrieve photos for a million items or something, and they're just hoping to just be like, sorry, bury it. Anyway, okay. So that's just, that's how it is. That's just the way of eBay. I actually wrote a note to it myself.
Yeah. I
was like, I really love eBay.
You wrote a note to yourself?
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to talk about it today, and I don't know what, sometimes I'm walking around, I get these ideas, and I'll just write a note. And I think the idea just came from was like, even with all these problems, we actually had a really good week.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a second, where we sold a lot of stuff, and it was just I was just like, what a crazy life we have.
Well,
we can sell all this random stuff.
I mean, we always say that too, where we're like, everyone says the summer's slow and blah, blah, and it's agreed. But we're like, but we still paid our bills. Yeah,
and so and I can't defend eBay. I mean, I don't really care that much. Like I'm not tied to eBay. It just happens to work, and I assume if eBay hadn't been around, there would be some other site that would do the same thing. So and I bet a lot of people at eBay, not a lot, I bet everyone at eBay are really nice people who are doing the best they can. It's just get it together. Like, I'm talking to the managers or the people in charge. Like, just empower the people that are building the platform. I bet if they hear this, they're like, we should have a page that tells people the problem.
Yeah.
Just stop trying to put a front on that everything's perfect. Just admit how things are.
Working website.
We're all small businesses here. Like, our business isn't perfect, and we talk about the problems that we have, and we fix them. You know? So whatever. Okay. Let's talk about some other things.
Yep.
That are about our business.
Yes.
A good thing.
So,
I have a telephone / computer in my pocket.
Right. You have an iPhone 5C, which we got exactly a year ago because we upgraded because we wanted more storage space. Mine's doing great. You were having a problem where
I dropped it, cracked the screen. We fixed the screen, but it just seemed like there was something. It just seemed kind of buggy.
Yeah, a little buggy. So you were just like,
you're the one.
Get you another phone
that was very nice and bought me a new phone. Took it upon it yourself and bought me an iPhone 6 for what, $120?
I will say this. Yeah, it was $114 on eBay used. Okay. You were like, why don't I just upgrade one generation?
Yeah,
because
So the whole point is I got a new phone to
Newish.
Me. Cost about $100. iPhone 6. I started taking eBay photos. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's a really good camera.
The camera on this phone is so much better than the old one. I can do
super close-ups, right?
Photos. Everything just seems much more clear. It handles the light. Looks,
better,
great.
Yeah.
a focus doesn't come in and out.
You were having trouble with your phone focusing, yeah.
So it's awesome. So I guess my only point is, it was great to upgrade. I think we're actually going to buy another one.
I already did.
But you did. That's right.
So here's the thing. So my iPhone 5 for now is fine. I'm keeping it until I'm like, okay, I'm going to upgrade. I bought a cheaper iPhone 6 for our helpers.
Right.
So, because they take the photos. So I'm going to, once I get it in the mail, just get it ready for them. And hopefully the photos, the color, sometimes they don't do close-ups, and I'm like, why are you doing close-ups? Probably because it's like all fuzzy and they can't do it. So
anyway, the whole point of this is saying that we're upgrading our business. We're acknowledging we had a problem.
Yes.
I think our photos were subpar.
They were okay.
They
can
horrible.
Be better. No, they weren't.
We were on the verge of bankruptcy.
Okay.
And now we're getting a new phone. It's going to cost us $100 that we're investing in our business.
Only $100.
We're going to give it to our helpers who take the majority of our photos, though I do help, and they're going to look a lot better.
And, $100, but then I'm going to sell the other phone, so it's kind of like recycling,
Exactly. We're always doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, and before we talk about our numbers, I will want to mention, as we do every single summertime, if you go back into our archives, we have talked about this every summertime.
Summer.
And it's about, around this time of year, it's just the steady hum of complaining about how slow eBay is.
Dude, people are on vacation.
And it's this eternal cycle. And this is a cycle. It's Christmas time. It's the holidays. November, December.
Yeah.
eBay's on fire. Everyone is selling everything, and everyone's happy. Summertime comes, and sales slow down, as they do across all of retail. It's not just eBay.
Every retailer.
eBay sellers spend countless hours creating reasons why eBay is killing them. It's just like endlessly. Oh, it's because of this, and it's this, and maybe if I hack this and this.
Yeah.
Holiday season's going to come around. It's July now.
Yeah.
3 months from now, it's going to be the holidays. Everything's going to be selling again. Everything's on fire, and everyone's happy, and all those conspiracy theories go away until the summer of 2019.
Right, and they're back
again. It's endless, and I don't get it, And I feel like and I only bring this up as like, people, do yourself like a favor, like a mental health favor of just don't jump to conclusions. I find that things get slow in the summer times. Sellers start to look for any hint as to how come it's slow, instead of just understanding that it's just the way retail is.
It's just
across
retail.
all platforms. Yeah. Amazon
has,
Etsy.
Prime Day on July 15th
right, because people aren't buying anything.
Yeah, they're like...
Walmart, and sellers, instead, they look for like some weird technical quirk that they think eBay's implementing to hurt their store.
Unfortunately, there were a lot of bugs this last week, so it's hard to be, but we still had great sales. Yeah.
And, and if you think eBay's trying to use a technical quirk to kill at your sale, then you should be able to counteract that and test it, with like actual proof. In my mind, but then it's getting like, why bother? I don't know.
Yeah, just keep working. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we'll have slow days. I think there were a couple days where we sold like one sweatshirt. Right. So, and it just, you gotta just keep working.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we've been around this earth enough times on eBay. This eBay earth, rotating through the
around eBay
seasons
servers.
That we just kind of know, like And I think that's the ultimate thing. I think when I hear a seller spend a lot of time trying to find a reason why they aren't selling as much now as they did during the holidays, is because they're checking out the wrong problem. I think these people are upset or scared because they're pegging their expenses
on holiday sales.
Like, I make this much during the holidays, I spend it's this much in my house, in my car, in my school, and all this stuff. And then when the summertime comes, they're freaking out because their expenses are too high and they don't make those holiday sales. And so I understand the struggle to pay bills is real, but that's not eBay's fault, So if if you can be honest and think like that stress about, not selling a lot in the summertime is because if you can't pay bills, check the bills out first and see if you can't bring those bills down.
Yeah, absolutely.
One other thing, there is a person on the forum. Mm-hmm. They go by the name of Almasty.
Yeah. I think we're saying that right.
This person always drops a lot of good knowledge that I love, that I always copy and say. And this person was talking about how, when we said that sales, they don't grow
exponentially
a year. Right. And there's a good reason for that. It's because of how a scavenger is. Like, the things we scavenge now in 2018 will reflect our sales in 2019.
Right.
This year in 2018, we've been kind of slacking off on scavenging, right? I mean, we haven't really been scavenging that much.
Yet we have, enough for both our helpers to do every single week.
Okay.
So I don't know, I kind of disagree with that.
Do you think we're scavenging really high dollar items? Are we
really
feeding? I feel like we're scavenging enough to give them stuff, but they're doing a lot of kind of average dollar items.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying we're doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's just how we're choosing to do our business right now because we're doing all these other things.
Right.
And my point is, so next year in 2019, our sales are going to be, it's reflective of all the stuff we're buying now. So that's why sales don't go up every a year, because we scavenge in different ways.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's a good way to think about it. And if we want to make more money in a year, then we need to focus. It's more on scavenging, And I've always said I would love to have 500 items in our store that are worth over $500.
Yeah, because we don't have that now.
It's just that would take so much more time.
Yeah,
we'd have
to take more time.
We'd have to be going to 2 auctions a week.
Yeah.
And even then, you might go to an auction and buy 2 things that are worth $500.
Right.
It'd take a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that would change our business. If we had 500 items in a store that was worth over $500, I think we would, our sales would go up.
I think also what's tough about that is a lot of times, in my opinion, items like that tend to be furniture or rugs or art, and they take up a lot of room.
Sure.
And so to be 500 items worth 500, it's sort of where are we going to put all those things?
It can be the bigger stuff. It can also be taking the time to learn more about little weird antique objects. We've bought those things old knives.
No, that's true. Yes, I have sold things for very high prices like that. And it also takes the willingness to pay a lot more.
Right, and the stress of, is this a good buy?
Right, I'm paying a lot more, and am I going to make a lot more?
I don't know if this is going to sell. I'm not sure. Whereas everything we get now is it's so cheap. There's
it doesn't even matter. Yeah,
a risk at all, and everything we get now, we know for certain what it is, how much it's worth. There's just no stress at all.
Right.
That other business,
there's no risk.
If we wanted to actually get higher end items all the time, it would be a lot more stress. I think it'd be fun, but it'd be more stressful.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
I think just bulking up our store with more and more $30 items isn't the way to get a rich.
It's just the easier, faster.
It's our steady state.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about our numbers.
Okay.
We sold 43 items.
Hey, good.
Which is a lot. 43 items.
43 is a lot. I was packing a lot.
That's 6 items a day.
Yeah, it's good.
So, that was good. And we made $1,600.
It's a great number.
For a summertime, for us, that's good.
It's very good, yeah.
So if we need $1,000 a week, $1,600, great.
Yeah.
And in our second store, we sold 8 items for $133.
133 is not great, but at least items.
At least we got over $100. I mean, our average price was $16, so it was just
really
all these
$low items.
Whatever. We still need to import that second store and just
I know. I literally have a tab open I emailed Inkfrog to be like, do you guys do this? Like, if I download one store, can I upload it to another store? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, even the photos? And they're like, yep. I'm like, okay, I have to sign up.
So awesome. Yeah.
So I just have to sign up for Inkfrog. Yeah. Like, I just am procrastinating.
I will say, this week, a lot of our sales were clothes and shoes. Like, they kind of saved us a winter jacket.
That's what always happens. I know. It's like, when things are slow, sometimes it's just the clothes that sell. And so I'm glad for a long time, we stopped doing clothes. Like, just, cold turkey. So
because we were so bored.
It's just so boring.
Yeah.
But our helpers help us do it, and they get through them fast, and they do a good job. So it's like great.
We learned if other people are taking pictures of photos, of clothes, that they're fun to buy.
Yeah,
but when we were having to take pictures of clothes, we just were like, "This is
too much.
This is a sweatshop."
Yeah.
But we did still sell some kind of cool, weird items that we always loved to sell, like a hand-carved wood
chess set.
$150.
Yeah, I had this up for $199 because some of those hand-carved chess sets are quite expensive. And I'd sold them before for high, so that's how I knew. And so I took an offer of $150. I didn't have a problem taking that offer. So it's like, $50 off, sure. Sounds good.
We sold like a piece of art. It was a print, right?
It was like a wood block print by a named artist that people collect.
$100.
And it's so funny because I had it for really, really low for a long time, low-ish for a long time because I couldn't read the guy's name. And then someone was like, I don't know if it was someone on the forum or it was someone on eBay. It was like, I think it's this guy. And then I looked at the signature and I was like, that is so easy to read. I can't believe I didn't read that. So it sold for $100. And we had to take it off the wall of one of our bedrooms at Airbnb. But we'll just replace it.
I love to do that. It's just like have the art that's for sale just as decoration. And just pull it off the wall and put in some other piece up there.
So this other thing we sold was part of that ephemera lot that I bought at that auction. I think I paid $65 for this big box of letters and pictures and notes and canceled bank checks, like just you name it, it was in there. So I lotted up the letters by decade. And so this was the 1930s decade of like, a lot of them were love letters between the mom and dad when they were like, basically I think they were teenagers because they got married when they were like 17 or something. Like their whole history is in there. I'm like, they got married on this date at this place. This is the hotel they stayed at. She was this old. He was this old. It's just kind of amazing. So those letters sold for $150. Yep.
And I also had bought the whole box for $60.
$60. I just said that.
Okay.
You obviously aren't listening. Yeah, $60. So I've sold that and a handful of other little ephemera things for $25, $30. So
now I remember when we bought that box, and it was like in the middle of our office. For
oh God, I didn't want to go through it.
2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
6 weeks. Because, it's kind of daunting, and we...
Yeah, I'm like, what do I do?
We, dumped them out, and we were trying to... So, how did you eventually...
So, it's really funny, because some of that stuff is still sitting on the the table. Like...
Unsorted.
And I actually found a bunch more letters. There was a box that I thought, oh, it's just got some trinkets in it. No, it's stuffed full of letters. So, the hilarious thing is, this guy became one of our local postal carriers. So, he was obsessed with keeping his letters. He had, like, all of them. So, yeah, you just sort of start sorting things. Okay, these are letters. They're from the 1930s. That's one pile. These are from the 50s. That's one pile. These are old postcards. Okay, either we'll lot them up or... I mean, it sucked. I didn't want to do it. It was really annoying. I had one of my helpers help me at one point. You made me have her help me because I was like, I don't want to touch it. I don't even know what to do.
I'm such a bad person.
You're not bad. It's just...
I mean, it's just... Things
it has to get done, and it's a pile.
And things like bank checks, do people buy stuff like that?
Yes, they absolutely do.
Why?
They absolutely do. Because they don't look like that anymore. And, like, this bank was... I think this building burned down on our Main Street because I can't find it anywhere. I've looked at historical pictures of Main Street, and I can't find it. So it has like a print of the building.
Okay.
And it's like this fancy letters, and some of the canceled checks are to local people.
Right.
You know, and so this guy was part of the Masons Lodge here. And so I lotted up a whole bunch of like the Masons stuff, ephemera, old receipts, and so, and it has like the charter members, like all these local last names. It's like,
do you put the names in the description?
Not all. I haven't. I have to like type those out. It's really tough because you're just like, this is going to take forever.
But in the title of like the these things that we sold, did you say, Steve Long, to Katie Long? Because people are trying to find...
the bank checks are part of that lot I was telling you about. Mm-hmm. So, no. Because there's like literally like decades and stacks of them.
Gotcha.
The one that I just listed, they were blank. There was like 4 blank ones, so they actually weren't like written.
I've just heard that, the people that are buying them are either local
genealogy people,
historians or genealogy people trying to find...
I tried to, like, a lot of these letters were from this one person to this other person, and so I put their full names in the description, because if you're looking for, like, genealogy stuff, you'll look for that, but,
Cool.
And... the places they're from, like it's from here, so I put the name of the town and the county because I know people are looking for like that kind of history. Yep. One of the things I sold was to someone like a couple miles from here in our town. I just mailed it to them. I don't think they realized I was in the same town. I was like, I'll just mail this to them. They'll get it on Monday.
Well, I think it's super awesome. Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much.
And then the final thing I would like to talk about is we sold a piece of furniture. Is it not... I didn't add it to our solds and to the amount of money which we make is because the person hasn't paid yet. We took an offer on a piece of furniture that's on a
price offer.
$600. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, I will do it. We took a best offer. Yeah. And then we just didn't hear anything. And the person's like in Iowa and it's like a local pickup. And it's just that thing where I don't know what people are thinking. What
did they think we were going to ship it to free to them?
I don't know.
In Iowa,
and then she didn't say anything, so we had to open up an
unpaid item.
And then she finally sends a message and says, "I'm really sorry. I thought I could have it sent to me, but I can't figure it out, so I can't pay." So I am trying to work with her. I'm like walking her through. Go to this site,
uship.com.
Here's how much,
Here are the measurements.
It says it's going to cost $200 to have it shipped to you, like try it out. So she's actually going through the process. I think that there's still a 10% chance she might. I mean, the fact that she's contacting me is good.
Right, she's talking to us.
But man, I am just so hungry to sell this thing. I want
it off our porch. It's this huge handmade cedar trunk. But it's gorgeous.
Unfortunately, this is a very common thing with a local pickup where people... I don't know. They either don't understand it or they think that I don't know what they think. So it's just annoying because it's like such a great. I'm like $600
sale,
Okay, Scavenger of the week.
You have to remind me of our Scavenger of the week.
Sure, some West Elm pillows.
Oh yes,
pillowcases.
West Elm pillows. We were at this junky thrift store, and there are these huge pillows. I think they're like 30 inches by 30 inches. They're like these big throw pillows, 100% wool. They still have the tags on them. They look like the tags are a little rough, but I'm like, I don't think anybody used them.
But the tags are like $179 each.
It was $110 or something.
Got it.
Right. So you're like, what? So we found 2 of those with inserted pillows, and then we found 2 other ones of different colors, and they were $4.
Yep. Great.
I'm like, yes.
Yep, and people buy those for sure.
For sure. Yep. We were just at West Elm yesterday.
Yep.
It's like...
I am trying to think if there's anything else we found. Yeah, I mean, again, I guess like I was trying to say earlier, I know we still scavenge plenty. Enough to have our helpers always be taking photographs.
Right.
But, this is a good week where, we scavenged, once or twice, and it was very kind of a second-hand thought kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we got some, good... That was a very good find. I think we'll do well. But it's most of the stuff we got was, $20, $30, and it's good. Customer issues. There were no returns.
We did not have any returns.
No issues.
I do want to talk about real quick issues I had as a buyer.
Okay.
I actually had to return several things to people because they were either damaged, like sent to me damaged, or they just did not work.
Electronics,
yeah. Right. So I've been looking for a certain cordless telephone for our rentals, a very specific one. And I've ordered 2 already, and neither of them worked. Even though they're like in great shape, tested. Okay. And then the other thing, I bought something else, and the person wrote to me, and they were like, oh, I'm not actually sending what was in the photo. I'm sending something different. And also there's a part missing that was in the photo, but I'm just not going to send it. What? So when I got that email, I actually didn't respond, but I said to Jay, this is what eBay's fighting against. With the INAD cases and free returns are sellers like this.
Right, because in the old days, it would be us against that person, and that person that sold it to us would have to step up and do the right thing, but eBay didn't really have anything in place to protect you as a buyer. So that's why eBay has this thing where, like,
all this stuff,
you can return it no matter what. Right. With one phone call, eBay will back you up, you know.
So it's unfortunate that there are sellers like that. And this person it's one of those sellers where they're just selling junk out of their house, and they have like 5 items up, and you're like, oh.
It's like they aren't really like a seller. Like
they're just trying to get rid of stuff.
A seller, they're just like in a yard sale, you know. And
so it's unfortunate.
They're not thinking they have to actually show what they're going to sell.
Yeah. And they're only sending me part of it. I'm like, okay, what was I buying?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And I feel like that's always good to remember when eBay rolls out these rules, and that's simply that they're making these rules for very specific people and sellers and circumstances. Right. It's unfortunate that we all have to bear the brunt of that.
But as a buyer, I'm so glad those things are in place. Where true. I'm like, this didn't work. Right. Sending it back.
You know, if eBay got a reputation where don't buy on there because you'll always get ripped off, we would go out of business. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was interesting being on the other side of it. Yeah. You know.
I don't want that job. All right, things we learned in our forum.
Yes.
At scavengerlife.com/forum. It was a good week there. I had a lot of fun talking to people. There was a seller or a user, North Pine Gallery.
Yeah.
This person had a really good thing that they said. So from a numbers perspective, so we're all, or at least we're not losing any money on returns.
They were saying that they are not losing any.
And we aren't either.
Okay, right.
So we're not, but it really does hurt the emotional part of our brain, and that's what this person was trying to say. Yeah. You know, it's true. It just doesn't feel right that someone buys an item from us, gets it, they're just like, I don't like this thing. Then they return it, and that's fine. But that we have to pay for that. So we lose $2 to $10 to $15.
It's a lot.
Just so this person can return it.
Borrow an item.
It just emotionally and just logically doesn't make sense, you know. And that's just the part of the return program that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
We're still not losing income on it yet. But it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't. Yeah. I just feel like it doesn't set the right tone, you know.
But I think I just have to think about the other part of it is there are so many times in the past when people will be like, I just don't like it. Item not as described. So you had to pay for it anyway. Right. So it's sort of like if it's cutting down on the INADs.
Right.
And someone's like, I just didn't like it, just send it back.
But I feel like people are still complaining that
there's INADs.
Yep. Sellers are doing that. Or that buyers are doing that. Yep. I don't know. I do want to say we had a bit of an issue during the week.
On the forum.
Yeah, I don't want to go into it, but I just want to remind people, this forum, I don't know everyone's experience with, online communities.
Right.
So this forum is more like a technical information group,
right,
where people come together to talk about selling online, specifically eBay.
Right.
So it's very focused.
It's very focused.
And it's not Facebook. And I feel like, the two of us, we actually fell in love and met on a technical a forum where we were talking about a video codex,
That is literally true.
It was, and I think we've been a part of and actually been managers of a lot of these
several
forums.
Yes.
And they're really fun because people are come together with a passion for a certain topic and you just share that certain info and it's really great. So, but I think a lot of people their experience of communities is like Facebook.
Which is very different.
We're not a part of.
Yes.
I made a conscious choice not to join Facebook because it just seemed kind of like...
Same here.
Not something I wanted to do, and that's fine. But I know what Facebook is and how it works, and it's just kind of all over the place, and people start fighting, and it's just... Anyway, so we welcome you to come and join a forum, but just be aware we need it to be high signal,
low noise. So if you come and you join, we just want to hear about like your real experience with eBay. If you have something to add, we need links, we need like context
to back it up with context. That's not to say if we don't have fun. We're all talking.
We're talking about things that are related to this lifestyle. Right. I mean, we talk about people share recipes and stuff on certain parts, of the
we
forum.
Get to know people.
Yeah,
but we just have to. I as a moderator, I always try and keep it pretty strict. If people start going off course,
right,
kind of bringing in non-info or kind of gumming up the works and kind of slowing down, because I have seen a lot of communities die very quickly
of that.
Because there's not a lot of good moderation.
Yep.
And if you don't like our forum, there's lots of other places to go to.
Exactly.
So, anyway, okay, this is the part where
Did you cook anything this week? I love how we're strictly an informational, technical. Would you eat?
That's why I'm like...
Would you put in the Instapot?
So, as scavengers, cooking and eating and buying food is, a big part of how we save our income. Yeah. Like, if you're not eating out all the time, you save so much money. So we cook all of our meals. Yep. I'm still team oatmeal.
You have been going on the oatmeal.
Team rice, brown
rice
with stir fry.
Yep.
That's me.
So we have this new CSA. We have a bunch of crazy vegetables.
Crazy delicious vegetables.
There was like this purple pepper. It's like a red pepper, but it was purple.
How was it?
It was delicious. I ate the whole thing in one sitting.
Wow.
With cheese. I was like scooping cheese out, like a cream, garlicky cheese. So I ate that. Oh, you had stir fry, and I made ramen. I have those fake noodles.
Yep.
So I was doing that. Except, actually, there was one time where you cut up beet greens, and they're a little hardcore. They taste a little bit gritty to me, and I put those in my ramen, and it did not taste good. So I was kind of like...
I mean, it tasted bad, or there was actually sand in it?
No, not sand.
They're just bitter.
They're bitter. That's what it is. They taste very earthy. They have a strong taste, and they didn't taste good with my kimchi. I was like, oh god, this was a mistake. So that was bad.
I stir fry everything, beet greens, every part.
The stir fry itself tasted good, just with the other ingredients in my ramen. It was not
so that has been fun. Is just having a lot of good vegetables.
That has been very fun.
Okay, let's answer the questions.
Yes,
that people called in with.
Now, you can call in. The voicemail number is 540-407-8486. But you can also email us a question. If you record it on your phone and email it to us, which people have been doing, it sounds amazing. So I'm going to start with one of those.
Hello, this is John in Boise. I am a full-time seller, and I'm calling about a policy that was announced last month about sales promotions. I had called eBay at the time to get clarification as to how this would work, and the person I talked to at that time made some assumptions, which I was hoping were going to be true, but have found out this month, since the policy has taken effect, that unfortunately it doesn't work. I sell a lot of shoes, which I have found the two things that have worked best for me in generating sales are to relist every 7 days and to have a 15% off sale promotion going. And I know that you guys have some debates from time to time about whether or not relisting continually helps promote sales. And I can tell you from years of experience and clarification today from the eBay rep that I talked to, that the reason that works is whenever something is relisted, you get a new item number. And when a person does a search, those search results come up with new items towards the top, and a new item number generated during relisting causes that. So what they have done now with relisting every 7 days is make it impossible for those items to go on sale. So even if I've had an item on there for a year, but it's being relisted every 7 days, that item will no longer go on sale. If I put good till canceled, when that is relisted automatically every 30 days, there will be no new item number. So that item will stay on sale, and I can use the sale promotion. Unfortunately, my item then falls dramatically in the item search results. So I'm now forced to make a decision as to which is going to work better, having items towards the top of search results without that sales promotion, or to have the sales promotion but be at the bottom of results. This is going to affect a lot of sellers for many categories other than the one I'm using. I can tell when my sales promotions end that the sales fall by 75% because those prices don't show a red line through them and a marked down price. It makes that big of a difference. And the way that they've done this, now all of my shoes, when you look at the item on eBay and you go to the page to see my item, have a banner going across the top saying this seller is having a promotion across all brands, 15% off all shoes, but there is no markdown price. And they're constantly messaging me asking, when do I see the reduction in price? Is this the reduced price? Will it be at checkout? How is this on sale? And it's not. None of them are. Out of 1,500 pairs of shoes, not one pair is on sale because they're relisted every 7 days. So, don't know what they're thinking there. The rep's position on it is it's all about the buyer's experience. Buyers have had a negative experience because things are going on sale right away when they're listed. I'm not exactly sure why that is. I mean, even a new model car comes out can be marked down because it's a new model. But I have no problem if I list my shoes and for the first 14 days, it won't be on sale. That way, somebody that needs that size and that model of shoe is more apt to pay the higher price if that's what they're looking for. And then thereafter, it's on sale, then great. But at this point, that's not even a possibility without just dropping in the search results. One option that I do have now is to continue to relist every 7 days and just go through and manually reduce prices of shoes so that they're being offered at a lower price, the same, say, 15% lower. But I can tell you that when customers see a shoe that is $40 with a line through it marked down to $32, they are far more apt to buy that than a shoe that is just offered at $32. Promotions and marketing work. There's a reason companies put things on sale. There is definitely a tried and true practice to a person thinking they're getting a $40 shoe for $32 rather than just getting a $32 shoe. Promotions work. I need that to work on eBay to make what I've been making, to continue the sales I've been having and generating. So again, they've forced me two options. One, to not be at the top of search results, or two, not to offer promotions. They need to think this through. I understand the buyers need to be happy, but sellers need to be able to continue to generate profit. Just wanted to point that out. Hopefully they get a word of this and enough people say something about it that they figure out a way to do both. Really appreciate your guys' show. Helps me to think through my business in new ways every week and consider the ideas that I might not have had otherwise. It's very helpful. Also, I'm guessing that there's got to be people at eBay that make decisions that pay some attention to this show, because it directly goes to the things that do affect sellers in a major way. So thanks for everything you do.
Okay, so you brought up so many good things. We're going to try and unpack this.
Yeah.
Number one, we can all sell the way we want to sell. So we're not here to tell you what's good or bad. We're just, but I do just want to talk about, like, proof.
Right.
So yeah, I get it. People say the reason why ending your item now it's 7 days because you get a new item number and you're kind of tricking the eBay algorithm to think it's a brand new item and it gets higher up. My thing is, no one has ever been able to show me actual numbers that sales are better. There was one gentleman on our forum, TSAT, who I love, who is really into his numbers. Numbers.
Yeah.
He did these graphs, and he says he's getting spikes of buys on those days when things get
stuff
relisted.
Gets relisted, yeah.
However, when he actually did his numbers, and I don't think I'm wrong on this, he was saying he was only making another $200 or $300 a month.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that is making $6,000 to $8,000 a month. And so, to me, $200 on $6,000 to $8,000 sales, it just isn't like to me that's noise in the percentages of sales. So to me, it would be a game changer if someone's like, hey, if I relist every 7 days, I'm selling 25% more, 50% more. Right. So that's why it doesn't matter.
I do want to also mention that you were saying with good till canceled, you could just have the sale on forever or whatever. That's no longer true, as we found out. You can, if you change to good till canceled, not relisting every 7 days, you can only have items on sale for 14 days.
Right. So it's not, so the rule that eBay has now is when the item ends, it has to be at the same price for 14 days before you can put it on sale again. Yeah. So even with good till canceled, the item does technically end. It keeps the same number, but it ends,
it does end,
and then it gets put up again, and that starts a 14-day cycle. So we're actually getting caught in this too.
Yeah.
But I will say, I mean, I don't know why eBay doesn't let people just do the kind of perma-sale game, but
because eBay honestly is like,
but you're
just have your prices good.
But people that are trying to kind of like fool the eBay algorithm by kind of ending their items and thinking it's new. I mean, I don't know. You're playing a game. eBay's playing a game. Like everyone's playing these games. It's just like for us, it's just like we just put our items up. Well,
what was interesting though about your call is you said
buy your stuff.
For an example, I end something every 7 days, and if that thing has been up for a year, well, if it's been up for a year, then you relisting it every 7 days is not doing anything. Because I've had stuff listed for a year too, and I'm just good till canceled.
Yeah.
So it's the same to me. It's just like just a. But as Jay said before, and with sales and with relisting, it's a psychological way for us to feel like we have
that's our opinion.
Control.
That is our opinion.
That's why I use sales.
Right.
Because I was like, I put a 15% off sale for the weekend. Yeah, it worked. Did it really? Because once I stopped being able to make sales for sale promotions,
I think if it makes you feel good, anybody feel good about putting sales and ending listing and doing something similar, then just do it because it makes you feel good. But none of us know
if it's true. So
I just don't see actually any evidence like numbers.
Right.
Or someone give me a graph. Like if you're selling 25% more. I mean, I will change my business.
Yeah.
We will change our business if people show us a number that's a game changer, you know, if it's like $200 more a month to do a bunch of busy work, I'm not so interested. You know?
Hi, I am calling in reference to the lady who called last week with the Louis Vuitton empty box return. I just wanted to put in my 2 cents, and that is I had at one point, this was years ago, it was supposed to be a crystal that was returned to me, and what was returned to me was a brick. And eBay said in order to get my money back that I had to file a local mail fraud case. So I did. And when I sent proof of that, they gave me my money back. Now, this was a long time ago, so I don't know, you know, things are changing minute by minute with eBay. But I just feel like she needs to fight for this because eBay, they're really showing some pretty bad colors right now for their sellers. And I think she's got to stick up for herself. She's got to be a voice. She needs to go on their Facebook, eBay page. She needs to keep calling back. She needs to file that report because this is not fair. And she should not be out that money because of a dishonest seller. And I think the only way that she's going to get her money back is to keep fighting and keep being in their face. So anyway, I just wanted to put in my 2 cents because I'm a little mad at eBay right now. And I love eBay, but they're making it hard. This is tough love right now. So anyway, thank you. Love you guys. Bye.
Yep. You know what? And Jay always loves it, but I do that too. Like if I feel injustice has happened with the rules, I'm like, oh no, I'm calling back.
Yeah.
I am making sure that this is righted.
I love it what this person says.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Look, I guess to me, it's like always a balance,
right?
You know, if you're really bothered by something, absolutely, spend the time to fight it. But just be aware, you're going to be on the phone,
you're going to be on hold,
on the Facebook groups.
You might have to call back.
You're going to have to be, calling the post office.
You have to be persistent, and if you're not willing to be persistent, just let it go.
Right. And you have to be really into that. But at the same time, if doing that causes you mental anguish, you're losing sleep, you're not listing, photographing, dealing with your business. If you're instead going on the eBay forums, commiserating with other people about how eBay is and how everything's a scam and your life is ruined because eBay hates you, then let it go. So it's always about that balance. But you, I think, are a good example. You don't like to get ripped off, and you're willing to go after it, but you don't let it stop you from doing all these other things.
Right. I kind of just make time for it. Some person did a chargeback a couple months ago, and I actually noticed that I was charged a $20 fee, and this is a $30 chargeback.
What?
So I actually ultimately called PayPal. This was a very long process. I called PayPal and they gave me the $30 back in my favor, but they actually didn't refund me the $20 fee. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call back and ask for that fee because I don't think that's fair. But you know what? I call through my computer. If I'm on hold for a long time, I'm doing other things. I do it when no one else is home, so no one's like, who are you talking to? What are they saying? Blah, blah, blah. I just do it on my own time. And if I can't get it, I'm kind of like, all right, I did the best I could. I tried. I tried multiple times, and this is the outcome. So, yeah, I think she should fight for it for her as much as makes sense to her.
I think it's also
mentally.
Just about having some perspective. The person who called said that she had an item a brick sent back, which is that's horrible. That's crazy.
It's so crazy.
But let's just be clear, the perspective of that. I'm assuming that only happened one time. So I think these kind of crazier things don't happen quite as often.
Rare, yeah.
If they did, it'd be a really serious problem.
Really be a problem.
But we've never had anything like that happen. I mean, we've sold thousands of items on eBay.
I've never had someone send me
and we've never had outright fraud like that, So I just wanted to is just Is it worth going after? Is it something that you always have to be worried about? Or now suddenly every buyer is now this like scammer who's out to get us, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sherry. I've been listening to you from the beginning, and I just had a weird situation I thought I would share about eBay and return decisions and sometimes how they don't make sense. So I sold a pair of boots to somebody on June 11th. They opened a return case once they got them saying they didn't fit and never sent them back. So after 7 business days, I opened a case saying that the person never returned them or attempted to return them. The case was closed. That was on the 23rd. Today is now the 25th. I got the shoes this afternoon, but this morning I got a message from eBay that they were overturning the case and returning not only the shipping, but the price of the boots because I never refunded the buyer. So I called because I said I never refunded the buyer because I never got the shoes. And I got your message that I'm not going to pay the shipping both ways on these. Ultimately, we went around and around. eBay said, you're going to pay the shipping both ways, even though it wasn't INAD. That doesn't matter. I said, how can I fix that in the future? And I said, can I put it in my description? Can I put it in my return policy? The lady said, it does not matter. You will always have to pay this. And I couldn't understand the reason. I asked for a supervisor. She kept saying, no, they were busy. I kept being put on hold. Ultimately, she said a supervisor would call me in an hour. And in about 5 minutes, the person called me back and said they were giving me my shipping fees back both ways. But I just wanted to say, you got to keep it up and be persistent. There was no reason for me to pay the shipping fees. I think they just made a mistake in the first place when the buyer opened the case coming back saying I hadn't refunded him. But at any rate, it doesn't make any sense. It's arbitrary. Keep asking for a manager. Hopefully you'll eventually get your way. Thanks so much, you guys. You've taught me a lot, and I wouldn't have pursued this without you.
Okay, I do want to say that this actually happened to me recently, where someone returned a hat. They never shipped it, never gave me tracking. I had it closed, and then a couple days later, I guess the person called eBay with the tracking number, unbeknownst to me, and eBay refunded them. And I had to call eBay and be like, why'd you refund them? I don't have this package. And they were like, well, the tracking says it got delivered. Of course, it was UPS, and they put stuff in weird places on my porch.
And then it finally did come.
Yeah, it was here. I was like, oh, it's here, but no one ever gave me any tracking, and I didn't, it was kind of, yes, it was annoying. And so then they were like, here's a full refund of everything to your buyer. I was just like, what the hell? So, yeah, it's annoying. So I called and had it fixed, mostly. Relisted the hat, so whatever, I did have the hat. But yeah, you're like, why isn't anyone telling me why this is happening? It's just like an automated message.
Right, like there's either rules or there's not rules. Yeah. And it's not like, well, there's rules, but for the buyer, then we'll
then okay, they did send it back. But,
like, yeah.
So one of the last times I called the reps, I was kind of asking about this, and they're like, oh, we're changing how returns work. Didn't tell me what he meant by that. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, let's just look at like what you're doing right now with this one return. So to me, what I think is happening is they have that 5-day business day rule, but they'll overturn it if they hear otherwise. Right. Which is always weird to me because you're like, it's a 30-day return rule. So why would they let us close it after 5 days? I think they're not going to let that happen.
Like, why not just get rid of it?
Why not just get rid of that rule? Which I think they're going to.
Right.
So that's my hypothesis.
Yeah.
Hi, I just wanted to say, this is Mary Jo. I just wanted to say that I love your podcast. And I'm calling specifically about the lady who got an empty box back for a very expensive item. This is the second or third one of these that I've heard about just recently. It happened to Rally Roots. Also, they got a box back with just a piece of junk in it. And the other person also got, not an empty box, but it was a box with, just a tiny little piece of crap in it that wasn't what they ordered. And in all those cases, eBay gave the customer their money back. And, they appealed, they tried everything they could to get their money back, and eBay said, we're just not going to deal with returns anymore, and unless, and it was one of them was under free returns, and they still could not get their money back, and eBay just said, no, we're not going to do it. So I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely an issue that's happening more and more, and apparently the scammers know they can do it, so they're doing it. Anyway, keep up the great work. I love, love, love to listen to you. Thank you so much for your wealth of information. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, well,
I mean, we did point that out. Yeah, that Rally Roots couple, they actually did a video where, it was like electronics and someone sent them the wrong thing or the different thing. And they said that the only reason why eBay actually protected them was because they made a big online stink about it, like a video about it. And I don't know. I mean, like that's valid too. Like if you aren't getting the help that you need through eBay, then make a public stink about it.
Yeah.
Go on Facebook, tweet about it, make a video. I mean, I guess it's hard for us to know, like, is it really common? Hasn't happened to us yet.
Right.
Doesn't mean it's not happening. But again,
I think it's just so egregious when it does happen that the word gets around too, where you're like, oh, that is literally the worst thing.
I mean, it is interesting. All of this stuff is based on trust. I mean, eBay and Amazon and these sites can have these checks and balances, but ultimately, anything we do in business is based on trust. And I don't know, what happens if just like every buyer just started to return everything and they put a brick in there?
Well,
like,
what would happen
how do you prove,
what would happen is what you would have to do is you'd have to videotape yourself going to the mailbox. Look, I received this box. Let's open it up with
but then
a
how
razor
about
blade.
You're a scammer seller and you actually like set that up and where you put a different
true.
It just like there and to me it's like that's when you go down the rabbit hole where you just assume everyone's horrible, everyone's trying to get you, and it's like I can't allow that. Like we can't run our business with that mindset. We know almost everyone is good. Everyone just wants an item. If there's problems, they're still not scamming us. It's just a misunderstanding. They're having bad days, all these things. Maybe we're having a bad day and we did something wrong and we have to then accept our problem, So I think these being sent a brick in the mail is, I just think, just such an edge case. Yeah. And I can't base my business on that,
Yeah, sure.
But if it happens to you, fight it.
Just fight it. Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, this is Don up in Ohio. Calling in response to your question about the FedEx. so timely. It happened to me last week as well. I'll tell you what I found out about that. The reason why that person had a problem with FedEx and why her item went back to FedEx is because when you purchase a FedEx label through eBay, it actually bills to eBay, and then eBay bills you. If you recall, on your invoice every month when you have a store, they add all of your FedEx charges to your invoice. You're not charged like USPS at the time of sale. It's charged on your next invoice. Also, and this may be a problem for anybody, what happened to me was I shipped an art print via FedEx, and of course it got smashed en route, and I filed a claim. And they were actually pretty responsive. They got back to me quickly with an email that said, "We've made a determination on your claim. Sign in to look at the status." So of course I attempted to sign in to see if they said yes or no, and it kept asking. It doesn't do it by tracking number, which would be really helpful. It asks you for your account number, and I happen to have a FedEx account number, so I put it in, and of course it had no record of my shipment because it came from the eBay account number. So yeah, I did a search to see if I could find that eBay account number out there, that FedEx account number, just so I could find out whether or not they had actually paid me for that item. And I couldn't find it anywhere, but I did find some forums with some folks that you are familiar with that basically have a problem with the world, and they actually did a nice job of explaining how this all worked. But that is a personal experience, so anytime you ship on eBay using a FedEx label that you buy from eBay, it's actually billed to eBay, and anything that's returned goes back to them. It's crazy, but if you look online, there's lots of people that this has happened to. I have no idea why eBay, just lets that go, but I mean, I'm with you there. I just think they just continue to just do dumb things for a company their size. I think that at times they are just incredibly stupid. So that was my experience. I wanted to follow up with you. The other thing I wanted to let you know is Ink Frog used to be fantastic. I don't think they're very good anymore. You guys may have a different experience, but I got rid of them because I just way too many problems on their upgrades. They were terrible. So just hopefully I can save you some time and money and aggravation there, but I know you'd like to find out things for yourself. Anyway, I love your podcast. You guys have been fantastic. You're two of the, I really admire you for what you guys have done. So thanks a lot, and have a great day.
Okay, let's update people. So what happened to our caller before was FedEx had sent a return, but they didn't send it to the seller, like the return address. They sent it to eBay headquarters because eBay's the one who gets billed because you pay eBay through your invoice. Like, it's so weird. So it happened to someone else. It's just so strange. Yeah, it's very odd. And you were saying you didn't like Ink Frog, so I don't really know.
Which is unfortunate. I hate hearing that because really there are not many services
that are in the cloud
that, well, number one, that even do this where you can bring in all your eBay and a list through eBay and manage like the store from there. A lot of them are based on your own computer, and Ink Frog was the only one we've seen so far that's in the cloud where we could work from anywhere on any computer, where we can have a worker give them partial access to the, that's what we want.
That's kind of like eBay already, where someone's, here listing and I'm somewhere else and I'm just like getting it, getting it fully listed. So, that's what we need. We need that kind of system.
So, unfortunately, Ink Frog's the only service we've heard that would work for us. So we'll just try it and see what happens. But if someone knows of anything else,
I would love to hear about it.
Just those other services, was it World Lister,
Wonderlister, and
6-bit? Those are all databases we have to keep on our own computers, and they can't be put on.
It's just a little wacky.
Hey, Jay and Ryan, I just wanted to call in and kind of give you my opinion on this free shipping that eBay's pushing now. I just feel that this last seller update just went a little too far, and I actually opted out and am not doing free returns. So just kind of put the numbers down. So basically, if you sell a $100 item, eBay charges you roughly $12. So to save 10% on those fees would be $1.20. So for every $100 item, you're saving $1.20 by offering free returns. They don't give you any money back from PayPal for this, which you guys probably already know. So since I work a full-time job, I just went ahead and I guess basically offered less customer service. So I moved all my handling time down to two days. So I don't have to get up early anymore and pack up those late shipment items from California or out in the West Coast. So because of this new update, it's made my life a lot easier, and I'm not going to cry over missing out on maybe $15, $20 a month. And anyway, that's just my opinion. And before this, my return rate was probably about 1% or less. And so far, I haven't got any returns by not offering the free returns. So anyway, that's just my opinion. Have a good day. Bye.
Well, I think that's a great opinion.
It's a fine opinion.
I mean, that's very level-headed. Yeah. Doing the numbers, balancing the extra effort it takes to jump through more hoops. Yep. I mean, I get it. We're definitely on the fence about doing free returns.
I mean, when they changed the TRS,
top-rated
seller
plus
discount from 20 to 10%, honestly, jumping through all these hoops was like, I mean, I did turn on same-day handling because I am here and I do have access. I'm like, I might as well. But I like that he said, I just put 2-day handling. I just need to give myself some breathing room. Because he has a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I just need a little breathing room. And I'm sure he's going to find that his sales are fine.
Yeah.
I've waited way over a week for someone to send stuff on eBay. I'm like, did you send it?
But they give us a good deal. And
and you're like, okay, I'll wait for it. And it's fine.
Yeah, I just, I guess for us, is like, if we can jump through the hoops without like a whole lot of mental stress, we'll do it. And, you know, the hope is like being top rated seller status, you get that badge, and I don't...
It helps with search results.
No, but they keep saying it doesn't help with search results.
But what's the point?
But do buyers, like, you know, search just by, because I think that you can just say, show me top rated seller. And then the other thing is that's so frustrating. You can be top rated...
Yeah.
But not top rated plus.
So you don't get the discount.
Where you get the discount. So I think you can not offer free returns, still be top rated. You're just not top rated plus. It's so confusing.
Discount. It is really crazy.
I think we're like this gentleman, that we're kind of on the edge where no longer is there a monetary carrot that's interesting enough to jump through these hoops. We're now just doing it because we're just like good students in class, you know. Right. I really feel like if people put the bar up, I want to get to that bar because we're just those kind of people.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like...
Yeah, but he's right.
Doesn't matter, you know.
Like he said, and you kind of said this last week, where that latest, whatever, summer seller update, you're just like, this is like a little much here. Yeah. You know, it's just like, boy, how much can you squeeze out of us?
I mean, also just with all these bugs happening, I mean, so we're now July 1st. Yeah. July, August, September. Like, there's going to be a fall seller update in like 2.5 months or something. Yeah. It's like, come on.
What else can you put in there?
Like, maybe don't do a fall update and just like get everything you've done, like catch up and like fix everything, you know?
Yep. Okay, that is it for the podcast this week. You can check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we discuss and to join the conversation on the forum. You can call and leave a question on our voicemail line. You can email us an audio file that you record on your phone, or you can call the voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486. We post an episode every Monday morning. On Wednesday, we post a What Sells video that shows what sold, how much it sold for, currently being brought to you by Steven Schultz. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or YouTube so you always get the latest episode. And if you want to rent our vacation rental Airbnbs, there is a link on the sidebar, and that is where you can check the calendar. You can see every date that's available for every house. We're ending this podcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.